Welcome back, friends. I didn't think I'd have a story to finish out the year with. Fortunately, I just received the last item from everything that was stolen from my Jeep. Unfortunately, not everything could be replaced. I'm glad to report that the Jeep is back in service and ready for the new year. We did a quick shakedown run to our local forest just before being closed due to thunderstorms. You can see that excursion at the end of this video. Replacing things is strange. You realize how much of your life lives in the everyday items, the ones you never think about until they're gone. Some of this is just stuff. Some of it, quietly held routines, habits, ways of moving through the day. When everything was taken, I didn't rush to replace it. I needed to understand what actually mattered. Desert Drifter used to talk about taking less, not as a rule, but as a way of paying attention. Out there, he didn't bring backups for comfort. He brought enough, and trusted the rest would sort itself out. Standing here now, replacing what was lost, I hear that voice again, asking a quiet question. Do I really need this? Or am I just afraid not to have it? This isn't about getting everything back the way it was. It's about choosing what comes with me next. Some things earn their place by being useful. Others earn it by being carried through hard moments. There are people you never meet, yet they shape you. Desert Drifter was one of those people for me. His videos weren't about views, sponsors, or flexing gear. They were about going into the world with less and finding more. I remember the first time I watched him walk across a dry wash with that beat-up backpack. And I bought that exact pack. Not because I needed it, but because something about the way he moved through the world made sense to me.
I'm gonna go down in that wash and check it out, see if I can find any water.
When he was killed, it hit harder than I expected, because he wasn't just a guy in the desert. He was a reminder that simplicity, commitment, and grit still exist. A few months later, life tested me in its own way. My Jeep, my freedom, my escape, died. And when I finally got it back, when I should have been excited, I found out someone emptied it. Not just gear, but memories. The equipment that shaped who I was outside, my everyday items were gone. The things I used when I wasn't trying to be adventurous, just being myself. In a strange way, that hit the same chord as Desert Drifter's death. When something or someone that represents independence disappears, it forces you to reevaluate what your compass really points towards. Loss doesn't ask permission. It takes. But sometimes it takes the things we've outgrown, even if we didn't know it yet. Watching Desert Drifter walk across those quiet miles taught me something he never said out loud. We don't own our adventures. We borrow them. The world gives us experiences, moments, and people. And eventually, it takes them back. But what stays, what matters, is who we became along the way. So yeah, the Jeep broke. The gear vanished. And someone whose videos shaped my path isn't here anymore. But I'm still walking. Maybe a little slower. Maybe with less. But more intentional. And in that way, I guess he's still walking too. Losing a person you never met, a vehicle you relied on, and the equipment you used to build your adventures, it all shakes the same part of you. The part that wants things to stay the way they were. But loss has a strange way of clearing space. Space to rethink, to rebuild, to remember what mattered in the first place. The Jeep is running again. The gear has been replaced. Life is moving forward. But his influence stays. So here's to traveling lighter, in gear, and in expectation.
I just dropped my pack and ran up to 2 different promising looking sites and nothing was there. That's kind of always the crux in places like this is, you know, there's so many possible areas of just some really neat historical and archaeological finds that you're just, you're torn between, you know, covering miles with the backpack and exploring every nook and cranny.
I never wanted to be him, but I wanted to understand how he moved through the world so lightly. Now when I stopped like this, I realized he wasn't escaping anything. He was making room. If you ever watch his videos, don't watch them for information. Watch them the way you would sit somewhere quiet and let whatever shows up, show up.
Yeah, I'm definitely a recovering perfectionist. Always want everything to be, you know, just right. And sometimes that serves me well, and other times I gotta come out in places like this and remember, hey, it ain't gonna be perfect, and just enjoy it. Find the little things to be grateful for.
Walking back, I realized nothing was taken that mattered as much as I thought. What mattered stayed with me the whole time. I just had to walk far enough to notice. Nothing out here asked me to be anything. It didn't need me to explain myself. It didn't need me to arrive with the right gear, or the right story, or the right answers. It just let me pass through, carrying what mattered, and learning how to leave the rest behind. From up here, none of it looks as heavy as it felt. The breakdown, the theft, the loss. It all just looks like one person still moving through a big place. I used to think I needed everything in place before I could keep going. The right vehicle, the right gear, a clear plan. Now I'm starting to see movement was never waiting on permission. Desert Drifter would disappear into places like this. No announcement, no explanation. I think he understood something simple, that the world doesn't need us to be loud to let us pass through it. So I'll keep moving, carrying what earns its place and letting the rest fall away.
A few weeks back, I ventured into an enormous and imposing canyon. I was here for two reasons. I had read of an ancient site somewhere in this vast canyon a couple of years back. The description of the ruin sounded almost mythical. Then, a channel viewer, who is also a member here on Patreon, Joni, turned me onto a striking arch in here and told me she had reliable information that there were ancient ruins of some kind up there. Well, you can probably see where this is going. So I went. I won't lie, this turned into a brutal, off-trail adventure. I had a close call that spooked me a bit, but I did find some very intriguing stuff high off the canyon floor.